Hi, so I wanted to share the latest unpack that I've come up with for McMourning2. It's a pretty crazy list. We're coming in with 0 soul stones, and we have the Whisper and Killer Instinct on the Nurse. So hopefully between both of these Guild Autopsies and the Nurse with Loot Their Corpse, we can recover some of these stones by the time the unpack is done. I just picked a random map in Vassal. This is the Come and Take It map, and I put myself on flank random as well. So a few things to be aware of here is, first of all, we want to make sure that we have everybody within 2 inches of both. Of actually a few models here. We have our Mindless Zombie, the Chihuahua, and Rafkin. It's going to be doing a lot of the poison stuff. The shockwave that I have here is just to demonstrate where Rafkin is going to be dropping his shockwave, and it's a 1-inch shockwave, which can be placed in such a way. Let's go ahead and adjust this because we're missing the dog in the bottom right. Canine Remains. You can just barely clip everything just by placing the shockwave right there. So this is going to hand out a ton of poison. The goal is to get over 100 poison without using the Curator, hand out a bunch of upgrades, and then allow McMourning to do whatever the heck he wants from turns 4 to 5, 2 to 5. So here we go. Let's take a look at this really fast. So we have this in base. We've got Chihuahua in base with the zombie. We've got the Chihuahua in base with the Kentauroi, and we have the zombie in base with McMourning. We have a notable gap right here in between these two models to allow McMourning's aura to have line of sight to the scheme marker over here. That's going to show up when the zombie blows up. And this is just here to show that when we have a 4-inch aura up there, that allows the Canine Remains to take a double interact to allow us to draw a card from Reduce, Reuse, Recycle. So we get some pretty good value out of all that. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and just remove this and make sure that we have it all down correctly. So kicking everything off, let's shuffle a few times. And it's always important that after you try to start testing, burn a card for initiative. That's an important card. So that's why we do this. So we're going to kick everything off with Rafkin. Rafkin's just going to start dropping vials everywhere. We've got a couple masks in hand. That's notable. We want to keep those around for McMourning. And we kind of want to see if we can fish for one for the nurse's activation. We'll get to that. So let's kick it off. Rafkin's vial needs a 5. Let's see if we get a 5, ideally of masks. We get a 5, no mask. Rafkin also has the open vials on the front of his card. So everybody except for him gets a poison pulse. We've got some line of sight around here over the size 1 up to the nurse. We got size 3 over here, and then everybody else is pretty easy to clip. So back to the vial. We get the first vial. I'm going to do the poison after we do the second vial. No mask trigger to do it again, so let's see if we can get a mask in the second one. We got a 6, which is enough for the vial, but no masks. So everybody gets 2 poison for the first one. Everybody gets 2 more poison for the second one. Then I like to try and do a transfusion from the Chihuahua onto something a little more valuable. So probably the Kentauroi. I don't know, follow your heart. We need a 6. And I don't want to cheat this if I miss it. Hey, I get it. And I actually get the red joker. So therefore I will drop 3. 1, 2, 3. Give it over here. 1, 2, 3. I am then going to take the swift action, do it again, looking for another 6. I miss it. That's okay. No big deal. So Rafkin is done. Let's get the zombie going now because we want to make sure that we maintain activation control. So he's going to bite McMourning. We're just looking for crows. I've got a super low crow, so I might cheat this. If we don't get him, there's a 4. All my masks are going away. This will be an interesting one. So we'll go ahead and cheat in the 3. We've got double infect now. McMourning is not hard to wound in McMourning2, so we're going to go ahead and take 1 damage and 2 poison. Also notable because the zombie will take 1 damage from Rafkin's Catalyst aura. He activated with poison, and he does not have Perverse Metabolism. I'm going to bite McMourning 1 more time, looking for a crow. Can we get it? We cannot. We flip, take the lowest. McMourning just takes 1 poison, 1 damage. 1 poison, 1 damage, and that's all for him. Let's get this guy blown up. So we're going to now go with the Chihuahua. Chihuahua is going to blood poison over here. We're looking for a 5. We get it. And before this guy goes off the table, let's do all the things we need to do. So he's going to blow up, and instead of dropping a corpse, I'm going to actually drop a scheme. And I'm going to make sure that we have the line of sight like we did earlier, and make sure that this has 4 inches off of the aura over here. And then we're going to place this corpse that he gets from dying in base contact with the Canine Remains. He goes off the board, and then everybody gets +1 poison. That was the bonus action here. Now we're just going to bite the Kentauroi. Looking for crows. Don't get a crow. Kentauroi is hard to wound. At this point, we're really just fishing for the Black Joker. So he takes 1 damage, 1 poison. We get 1 poison in return because of bloated stench on the Kentauroi. Let's try it one more time. We get a crow, 4 cards. We get the Black Joker, no damage to anybody, so no poison to anybody. We're going to go ahead and then at the end of the Chihuahua's turn, he pulses out poison for horrific odor. So we're going to, everybody except for the Chihuahua gets poison. Chihuahua is done. I'm going to leave the shockwave marker here because I still need it for the nurse. And we'll get to that. So now we're going to go with the Canine Remains, who can then interact to drop a ski marker. He's going to carrion away. He's going to pull this corpse up for his bonus action. And then reduce, reuse, recycle will proc, and we're going to go ahead and drop that over here in base contact with our Guild Autopsies. We got line of sight. Interact again to pull up the ski marker and draw a card. Hopefully we get ourselves a mask. We don't. That's fine. We'll come over here at the end of his turn. He's going to drop the corpse marker in base contact with himself. And now we come over to our corpse, loot their corpse models, but we're only going to do one of them. So Guild Autopsy 1 is going to go and is going to interact to pick up the ski marker. That will give us a card. We're going to discard down to hand size, and then we're going to re-interact again to put that ski marker right back down, and it's going to make sure that it's in base contact and touching the Kentauroi because we want to give him the X spare head. So that's 2 actions and no bonus action we want from him, so we'll mark him done. Now we're kind of in a spot. So here's where you can choose to gamble whether or not you feel like you're going to get a mask with McMourning's intuition. I'll do it just to demonstrate the power of all the poison this can give out. So we're going to go ahead and do the nurse's activation. She's going to tools for the job, pull this up, and we're going to dump a mask. So she's got masks on everything, which means now she can seduce Rafkin on her trigger, small favor trigger. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll burn a card. It's not a TN, so burn a card for seduction, and then now we're looking for a 5 for Rafkin to go ahead and do a vial again. 5 or better, we get it. Everybody gets 2 poison. 1, 2. Burn a card for seduction. While this is happening, Rafkin is getting distracted. 2. That was my seduction card. Now we're going to do the Rafkin vial. We get exact change. We'll do it one more time. 1, 2. Now the nurse is going to be looking for a 4 in order to do bottle of painkillers and remove the distracted. Don't get it. I'm going to go ahead and cheat that off. We're going to bring up there, and then we're going to lose that, do a heal flip, make sure our deck is in order. And then we're going to give Rafkin 2 poison. Going up to 12. That is the nurse at the end of her turn. I apologize. I didn't do it before, but at the end of the Guild Autopsy, I'm going to loot the corpse over here, and we're going to leave it exactly in place. And we're going to do the same thing with this nurse. We're going to loot this corpse at the end of her activation and leave it exactly where it is in base contact. So now we have 2 soul stones, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and activate the flesh construct at this point. So we're going to do a little bit of a setup. Go fast, take a damage. Everybody's already at max healing, so Rafkin's Catalyst Aura isn't really doing much right now until the Kentauroi goes. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Focus and then drop a ski marker. Kind of want the ski marker down into the back. We need to make sure it's away from that other one, which is totally fine. Lots of space. This one is going to be for the nurse. And that is the easiest activation of them all. He's done. Now it's time for McMourning. Let's see if our gamble paid off, if we can find a mask. A 6 of masks or better. We don't. So we're going to have to spend one of our stones on this one, unfortunately. All of these are going to go ahead, will be successful for the trigger. So we don't have to worry about that. I'm just saying that we need a 6. And what I like to do in this situation, none of this really matters. We have seen the Black Joker, so I will make sure that I draw this severe. First things first, we go up and charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Charge the flesh construct. Flip a card for the attack. Great. We're going to go ahead and amputate a scrap marker off the attack, and then he also gets poison 2 for the attack. Now McMourning has to spend a stone, unfortunately. Actually, we can cheat this mask down here, so we'll spend a stone later. First and foremost, we will flip this to Desperate Plot the Kentauroi. Don't get it. Cheat into 12 masks. Again, you're going to be flipping basically your entire deck. You can see we're down to 14, so I'm not too attached to all these severes. First thing, we get poison 2. 1, 2. We're going to go up 4, but I want to stay within 2 inches of that Guild Autopsy down at the bottom because I want to bring them up with me. So I'm only going to take 1 inch. We're going to eat the ski marker off the board. And when we do that, we still have line of sight. And that means I want to draw that severe that I was just talking about not being too attached to. With the Kentauroi out of the way, we now have line of sight to the second Guild Autopsy. And we only need a 6, so we're going to be flipping this for the trigger, the swift action trigger off of, this will be the second activation. We don't get it, that's all right, it's a risk. We go ahead and do this, give ourselves 2 more poison, and then take a walk around the outside of 1, 2, 3, 4, a push around the outside. And we're going to pick up this corpse. We haven't duplicated anything yet, so this corpse is going to come up here, so that way we can loot it later on and end the turn with 2 soul stones. So we're going to make sure that these 2 models have not been marked as moved, and that will give us, let's make sure we have these copied, and we have the head here, we've got legs here, and now this is when we spend one of our 2 soul stones. So spend a stone for a mask, flip the card, hopefully we get a 6 or better. We do. This next one is going to go on flesh construct, 1, 2, 3, and a little bit in just so we get some concealment. Why not? We get 2 poison from the action, eat the scrap. He now has arms, so he can flurry. We need another 6 for the swift action trigger. We're going to target the nurse. We get exact change. We can bring the nurse in 2 poison from the attack, or from McMourning's Desperate Plot attack. 1, 2, 3. That's far enough. She doesn't need to go too much farther. Team off the board and make her the head nurse. And then last thing, if we get it, it's great. If not, I'm not going to cheat it. We're going to try and give Rafkin's vial over to the Kentauroi. So I need a 7 for that plastic surgery to go off. It fails, no big deal, because he needs a 4 for his ride with me, and he would need a 3 for the vial. And I'd like to keep these cards. You can do whatever you'd like. It would give him 2 more poison. That's also notable for the 100 poison stack. So we no longer need the shockwave in the area, just for reference. And it's now going to be the Kentauroi's turn. Kentauroi is going to ride with me, targeting Guild Autopsy number 1 down here, bringing up the board. Since we have the head, we only need 4 instead of a 6. We get an 8 anyway. It's all good. 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is about the end of all the poison distribution. Now we're just getting ourselves into position and taking advantage of corpses for loot their corpse at this point. And then we're just going to walk around and focus with this guy. 2, 3, 5, 6. Obviously finesse it better, but this is just an example. I'll move down onto the Guild Autopsy. We need a 6 for this guy to go for his bonus action for Creep Along. See if we can find it. I forgot to say we focused is what I said we did. Yeah, we get the Creep Along, which is great. Come on over here, make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have legs, we can go that fast. And then I like to end the turn with these two next to each other. 1, 2, and we have 1 action left. So I think dropping a scheme marker is not a bad idea. So we can upgrade the other one, give it 2 extra health, and be a scheme threat. And here it is. We end the turn 1 with 9. It only took us about 15 minutes to walk through every single 10 activations. That's not too bad. 3, 9, 11, and another 11. So we got 2 severes ready to go up top here. Do some damage, especially with the puncture on there. Let's add it up. That was the big shenanigans here. So 17, and mind you, if we actually did cheat, I did notice that when the Kentauroi's turn came around, I flipped a mask that would have double triggered the vial. So we could have had another 4 more poison on 4 more models. So 16 more poison potentially. There's just a lot. He just a lot. Well, Kentauroi, Guild Autopsy, come over here for the Flesh Construct. Then we got the Nurse, McMourning himself, Chihuahua, Rafkin, and 11 down there. So we're looking at 114 poison, which is nothing too bad. You can spend the rest of the game having McMourning do whatever the heck he wants, and you don't have to worry about poison, unless they got condition removal, but obviously you expect that playing McMourning. So this is just a silly thing. We ended it. I forgot to say the final moment. We get 1 more Soulstone from Loot Their Corpse. So we end the turn with 2 Soulstones in our pocket. We had none to begin with. I've ran this. Closing thoughts at this point. I've just gone through this deck here in Vassal multiple times, about 20 times. This is a very volatile list. You'll always end with at least 1 stone. The best case scenario is you'll have 3 stones because you'll fish for a mask for the Nurse, and you'll have 2 masks in hand at some point that are 6 or better for McMourning. But it's also fairly resilient to a Black Joker in key plays. Which I'm actually pretty proud of. So just to do a quick little bit of what if analysis, here's a copy of the setup. Bring it over here. Let's say we Black Jokered the blood poisoning on the zombie. Well, the zombie already took 1 damage from the catalyst from Rafkin. So we can guarantee the kill because we started deployed in base contact over here. We can guarantee that kill on the zombie, and everything falls into place, and you know none of your desperate plots will fail because you already Black Jokered. If you see a Black Joker in your McMourning intuition, I always love to put that on top and make that the charge card because Amputate is already built in. So you get everything and none of the losses of encountering the Black Joker. So I hope you have fun. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have a good time.